The U.S. government resumed federal executions this week. The first inmate to be put to death was Daniel Lewis Lee on Tuesday, followed by Wesley Ira Perkey on Thursday. The third federal inmate scheduled to die is 52-year-old Dustin Honkin from Iowa. Iowa abolished the death penalty in 1965, but federal prosecutors sought that punishment against Honkin because of the horrific nature of his crimes. My colleague Adam Pinsker was selected as a media witness to this week's executions, and he joins me now from outside the federal penitentiary in Terre Haute.
Well, Joe, the execution chamber here at the U.S. Penitentiary is above my right shoulder between that water tower and tall red brick building. The United States Supreme Court in two of these executions ruled 5-4 that they can proceed, so this has become a very divisive issue. William Long and Abe Bonowitz came to Indiana from two different parts of the country with different perspectives about the death penalty. From outside the secure fortress-like walls of the United States Penitentiary in Terre Haute, Bonowitz and his group Death Penalty Action arrive hours before the scheduled execution of Wesley Perkey.
Very few people are paying attention. We're here to pay attention and to say more than half the country, according to Gallup, more than half the country considers the death penalty to be immoral.
William Long proudly considers himself among the half that thinks the death penalty is moral. He was there watching Perkey receive a lethal injection early Thursday morning, 22 years after he raped and murdered Long's daughter, Jennifer.
There's some resolve. There is no closure, never will be, because I won't get my daughter back.
As if waiting 2 decades wasn't bad enough, Long waited in a van for 4 hours outside the execution chamber Thursday morning, while Perkey exhausted all his last-minute appeals before being allowed to enter and witness the execution.
There's way too many delays, too many putting in for appeals, and it needs to be rescrutinized.
Back outside the prison walls, Bonowitz tells us that if anything, there needs to be more judicial scrutiny in capital cases.
Especially with what happened to Daniel Lee. When he was finally executed, there were still legal motions pending. His attorneys were not even advised in advance that he's about to be executed.
Bonowitz believes the Trump administration deliberately scheduled 3 executions in 1 week of inmates who committed heinous crimes because it would bolster the president's re-election hopes.
This government is willing to just do whatever it takes to follow the orders of our president.
But if you listen to William Long, he'll tell you how agonizing it was to wait all these years before justice was given to Wesley Perkey.
And then 17 years he sat on death row, and every day for the rest of my life I will think of it, I will remember it, and it's not something any parent should have to live through. A 4th execution is scheduled for the same facility on August 28th. Now, only the Attorney General and the President of the United States can grant clemency to anybody who's condemned to die in the federal system. The death penalty issue generating a lot of controversy. There's some protesters out around the prison all week, and a lot of them say that the federal government shouldn't be doing executions because of the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, one inmate here at the prisons died from COVID-19, and some staff members have come down with it. So, and with unemployment hovering at 11%, they just feel like it's not an appropriate issue that the government should be focusing on. Joe, back to you.